Good morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. It's 7 a.m. Pacific out here on the West Coast. Today starts day 2 of jury selection. Sharon Reed, 3 white men charged for the murder of Ahmaud Arbery there in Georgia.
Yeah, it's the day that we've all been kind of waiting to exhale and let's go. You know, let's go. Because here's the thing. About 600 of 1,000 potential jurors we've learned were called to the courthouse yesterday. The question is, 16 impartial ones, can they be found? Are they in that county? Will they be selected in this rural, southern Georgia town? We know what that means, Mike Hill. You and I have talked about it. The victim, Ahmaud Arbery, the innocent black man who was hunted down like an animal in the street, recorded by the killers, his mother knows that. She said it took 600 days to get here. Just to get an arrest. Remember, months went by, and they said nothing happened here except a black boy, is what they'd probably said. It wasn't doing the right thing, and so he caused his own death. This is what happens when you color outside the law. Okay, this is what happens. And then, because these 3 killers were not the brightest, I believe there's racism written all over them. Ahmaud Arbery's last words that he heard as he went to meet his maker.
One used the N-word.
N-word. Yeah. Right. Confederate flag, license plate, and all this stuff. And I'm not going. I hope that we're enough common sense company that we're not going to sit here and talk about the Confederate flag as anything other than a racist symbol of America's past. So yeah, I believe that they were racist, but they're also not the brightest bulbs in the bunch. Okay, you don't want to pick these 3 and expect to even screw in one. Okay, they recorded it, they gave it to police, and they turned it into some other lacking integrity and probably not the sharpest tools in the shed either. And then everything was done. Went away with it. And then when things really started to hit the fan, remember, Mike, because I like to let's remember how we got here, okay? When things really started to hit the fan, you started to learn things about Ahmaud Arbery that didn't have anything to do with somebody murdering him in cold blood, innocent Ahmaud Arbery. Something about a previous stop, harassment, okay, if you ask me.
Oh, that's the MO.
But nobody asked me.
Oh.
Right. You started to learn all of these negative things, like he was just... Yeah, like he was just the worst. And now these 3 are saying, help, we were citizens arrest and this and that. Are you sure you even thought this was a citizen? Because you treated him less than a human being.
Well, they tracked him down like he was an animal. They tracked him down like they were hunting him. You know, he was jogging through a neighborhood. Maybe the wrong neighborhood in their opinion, but a free neighborhood that he could jog through. Looking through a house that was being under construction. The owners didn't ask them to do this. They weren't on patrol that day. But how do we get here? Let's ask how do we get here? We almost didn't get here, Sharon. By the way, because once again, we talk about the criminal justice system. We not just talk about police officers. We're not talking about little idiot vigilantes like this. We're talking about prosecutors that don't want to do their jobs. And a prosecutor that didn't want to do her job at that particular. Oh, you know what? The importance of social media. Wow. If it wasn't for social media, if it wasn't for that pressure, we wouldn't be here right now. We just have another black man killed in the streets by some racist, and they would get away with it. Oh, I got to say alleged racist. I'm sorry, because that's technically correct. Now, I don't want to get sued, but we all know what the situation is. Go ahead. I'm a little peeved.
What would the damages be? They're already up on these charges. And we can, but I'm going to end with this final point. Well, maybe it's 2. I'm tired of seeing Ahmaud Arbery's final moments on this earth. A loving son, a brother. His mother loved and cherished him. I'm tired of seeing his final moments running through what looked like a gorgeous Georgia day. Okay, and I'm a little bit different than other people, and I fully accept and acknowledge that, but I often drive through parts of Georgia and I look at the trees. I really do this, and I look at some of the older ones that are thick and tall, and because trees live so long, Mike, hundreds of years sometimes, I wonder in my mind, in my different kind of mind, what those trees saw. Slaves, were their black bodies hanging from them? I actually think about these things. I was just thinking about that as I was driving with my mother the other day. And as I watch that, I wonder about those trees. This one, yes, there's been so many black men hunted down. But this one evoked the imagery of what I believe was like a slave running, trying to get away, and being hunted back in those times. And that's why it's so difficult to unsee. Wow. And I don't necessarily think we deserve to unsee it. I think some other people need to be haunted by it. But it really, really, this one really strikes me. I meant what I said. I'm tired of seeing this human being's final moments, and thank God bless this network for pausing that final shot that took him out. Yeah. But I do, when I see it, think of these things. Our Dray Clark is on the scene now in this part of Georgia, Brunswick, Georgia. It's not been an easy endeavor so far getting here for Ahmaud Arbery and his family, and it's not going to be any easier moving forward now that the trial jury selection is underway. Good morning to you, Dray.
Good morning, Mike and Sharon. Nice to be with you again here. You talk about that jury selection. It will not be an easy process at all, but the court has resumed this morning and jury selection is now underway. The first day of jury selection was long, and we expect it will be another long day. 600 jurors, potential jurors, have been summoned in this first round of questioning. Another 400 will be here next week if necessary. The reason why the jury pool is so significantly larger than normal is because of the massive media attention this case has generated. And the challenge for this trial will be seating a jury that can be fair and impartial because this is a small town and so many people have been talking about this case since it really went public 3 months after the shooting happened. But let's go back in time if we can here. Greg and Travis McMichael, who are father and son, along with William Bryan, are facing multiple charges, including murder, for the shooting and killing of 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery in February of 2020. As you guys mentioned a moment ago, all three men are white, and Arbery was jogging through his neighborhood. The forecast then is much like it is today, when the McMichaels could be seen on cell phone video running him down in their pickup truck and then shooting him with a shotgun at point-blank range. William Bryan was in a separate vehicle following them, and he recorded the shooting on video. Video of the shooting was not made public or leaked until 3 months after the shooting happened, and that is what led to the indictment and the trial that we're now about to see happen here in Brunswick. Meanwhile, the McMichaels claim they believe that Ahmaud Arbery was a burglary suspect, and so they were chasing him down, and they say they shot and killed him in self-defense. One other note here, when you talk about the timing of the shooting and then the release of the video, the former Glenn County prosecutor, Jackie Johnson, was indicted for misconduct, and it is alleged because of her relationship with the McMichaels that she in some way tried to help them cover this shooting up when it happened. She was let go, and she is now facing criminal charges. Back here live, a diverse group of potential jurors were questioned yesterday, men and women from various ethnicities. They were asked questions like, do you have a negative outlook or point of view on the defendants? And another question was, do you think the Confederate flag is a symbol of hate? Certainly some of them indicated yes to both of those questions. We should also know that Ahmaud Arbery's parents also have been inside the courtroom with their respective attorneys watching and listening as the proceedings have been happening. Sharon and Mike.
Yeah, well, Dray, I've got a follow-up for you because, and I know you don't know every question perhaps on that questionnaire, but you mentioned the Confederate flag, and I wonder if those same prospective jurors are being asked about Black Lives Matter flags. Do they consider that a symbol of hate? Because, you know, jury pools are only as good as the people in them. Questionnaires only as good as the questions on them and who drew them up. And so I'm wondering if you're learning any more from the attorneys associated with the family, otherwise, about trepidation as they march towards the first day of testimony.
I think I've not spoken to their attorneys personally, but in listening to the interviews they've done yesterday and last week, the family, Ahmaud's mother and father, his brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles and cousins, are very optimistic that they will get justice. Pardon me for a second, because I hear some clapping, and that is his father. That's his father walking in. Let me step out the way so you can see just for a moment. That's Ahmaud Arbery's father walking into the courtroom right now, immediately surrounded by reporters and cameras. No doubt they're probably asking him how he feels after the first day of jury selection. But I should also mention there are a number of people sitting on the front lawn here in front of the courthouse from all across the country. They are also here to try and ensure that justice is done in this case. And so again, Sharon, I've not spoken to the attorneys myself, but the family and others are very optimistic that when all is said and done, they will see a conviction for all three men who are now stand accused of shooting and killing Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah, and Dray, you've covered so many of these high-profile cases, most recently George Floyd, his murder case, and the Derek Chauvin trial in Minneapolis. And I wonder if you can compare and contrast, because again, there's so much national interest in this trial too, and the families that you've become acquainted with, because their loved ones aren't just lost, they're not just grieving, but it's so public, as if their loved ones belong to all of us past a certain point. So can you compare and contrast this high-profile trial with the Floyd case?
Well, I think the first common denominator between the Derek Chauvin murder trial and this trial here in Brunswick is both cases first really became public when video went viral online, generating millions of views around the world. That's the first common denominator. The second one would be that both cases generated a massive amount of media attention. The third common denominator is it also sparked widespread demonstrations and protests, not just here in Georgia or Minneapolis, but around the world. The other common denominator is it's not just the family members who want justice, it's the community, it's the country, it's the world. And when the world is watching closely, it really makes everyone involved in this case accountable, especially the prosecutors who is trying to win a conviction. It makes everyone accountable. You have to dot every I and cross every T because everyone is watching. So there are a lot of similarities between the two. And I think the last common denominator is the heartache and the pain that these families are still dealing with even as they prepare for a trial. A mother who lost her son, or in George Floyd's case, a mother who lost her son, or relatives, and just the heartbreak is widespread. They are incredibly strong because they are in the spotlight. They have so many things they're juggling, but in the midst of all of this, they're grieving the loss of their son. And that's hard. It's not right for a parent to have to put their child into a ground. That's not the way it's supposed to happen, especially in such a public and, dare I say,
demonstrations, if you're seeing any at all, because I don't recall that from Minneapolis and the Derek Chauvin trial and George Floyd. It was just international outrage there. Are you seeing counter demonstrations? Because I'm in Georgia, okay? And when you talk about this particular community and people say don't condemn it, you don't want to condemn all the community. But we know what this community has produced, that ousted prosecutor that you spoke of. And the accused in this case who recorded this killing, they have said they're not culpable legally, but they recorded this killing and felt that they had the ability to carry it out.
Yeah, I mean, let me pause for a second also, Sharon. Let me come back here live and let you see really what these demonstrations are like in real time. Listen, you can take a listen here right now. I'll let you take a listen. In case you couldn't hear them, they were yelling, "No justice, no peace, and justice for Ahmaud." This group, part of the Transformative Justice Coalition, you have people here from Chicago, Philadelphia, and other parts from around the country. They've been here, came down on the bus they thought it was important enough to be here. And this is the group you're seeing right now. There are no counter protesters, at least not at this point. There is no one really standing on the side of the defendants here in support of them. And if they are, they certainly aren't bold enough to come in front of this crowd right here. But as far as demonstrations, it is overwhelmingly clear that the men and women that we've seen here are here in support of the Arbery family. One other stark comparison, Sharon, if I will, when I was in Minneapolis, the crowd in support of George Floyd's family, it was very diverse. In fact, and sometimes there were more white faces in the crowd than black. Here, it's slightly different. It is a predominantly white and predominantly female group of demonstrators who are here, but fearless nonetheless and very determined to have their voices heard and to make sure that this family gets justice.
Hey, Dray, and so, and I believe you misspoke. So, predominantly female and black, is that correct?
Yeah.
The demonstrators that you're seeing?
I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah. No, it's okay, because that's what I was going to ask you, and that troubles me. We stand on the shoulder so many times of black men, black women, who are at the forefront in this case, and others demonstrating. And so, again, this community, the family, as you said, is hopeful. I don't know another way that you can go into something devastating like this except believing that you have an opportunity at justice. But when you look at the makeup of this community and the things that have been carried out, it's just something to note. We feel confident having you on the scene, that's for sure, as jury selection is now underway, and I'm sure you'll learn more about who stays, who goes, if anyone's seated at some point, and you'll get back to us. Dray Clark, we appreciate you. You're in it for the long haul, and so are we. Thanks so much.